Hello, 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 all two of you. How are you? I know I started a little bit early, which is not normal for me. Hey, Mickey Griggs, how are you? Feel free to come on in, say hello. How's everyone been doing? Hey, Heather, how are you? Sorry, guys, I haven't been around much. I've been a little depressed the past few weeks, just some things going on. Um, Not a whole lot. Of YouTube stuff, but I did want to catch up on a few things that happened this week on YouTube, not in our communities, but as far as like the David case and some other things I've been learning about. Um, I wish Twisted Tea was here, man. She hit the nail on the head. I think not the last show, the show before I did. Um, she said the DA must have had a smoking gun if they arrested him on, given the amount of time in between everything that happened with David. Um, so a couple things happened this week. He pled not guilty, which we all kind of knew. There she is. You hit the nail on the head, woman. I'll tell you what, they released the autopsy report this week. I guess a judge allowed it to be released. Um, Now, what I find interesting about the autopsy release is, I guess because of the decomposition, there's some details that they're not sure of, or they don't want to get too specific about. They do believe she passed away in April of 2025, which would be April, May, June, July, August, September. Well, we'll say 5 months because I think it was the end of April they knew she was alive. So to the end or to the beginning of September. So 5 months. They believe had been passed away before her body was discovered. Um, what they found, yeah, the judge gave the okay to release the autopsy report. And what they're saying is, it is, I guess, there's like the manner of death, I forget the terms offhand. But they did deem it a homicide, obviously. Um, Now, they're not saying she was stabbed, but they're very carefully wording it that she was penetrated with a sharp object multiple times. Obviously, she was dismembered. Um, she was found like right before her birthday, and or either right before or right after, and David was seen wearing a shirt a day or two later with her birthday on it, which I found kind of odd. Um, Hate to say it, I'm giving her parents the old side eye. As far as where were they in this whole thing? Yeah, you gotta wonder. I mean, she was apparently this had been going on for a while, like between the online communication and he might be part of the 746 cult, which I just looked into since Dana HDT is doing a series on it. Yeah, I'm not familiar with them. Are they like a satanic cult? Um, is that what they are? That I haven't heard. But they did release the autopsy report. Why they didn't let the police know she had come home in September, they had said hadn't seen her since being reported missing. Where did you hear she came home in September? She didn't come home in September that I'm aware of. She ran away first in March and then came home and then ran away again in April, I believe. There is video of her. See, that's what's so weird about this. Ashley Banfield has the video. And they're sure it was September of 2025. So then that would throw the date of death way off then. Because what I read today was the autopsy came out. They believe she had passed away in the last time she was known to be alive that I read was April of 2025. And that goes right about the time that they believe she was unalived. You'd have to look up. There's some stuff YouTube. It's hard to explain. Oh, September of 2024. Well, yeah. She was home in September of 2024. But then she ran away again in March of 2025. And then I guess, came home briefly and then ran away again in April of 2025. But her body was not found until September of 2025. It all happened in 2024. I thought her body was found in 2025. I could be wrong. No, her body was discovered in September 8th of 2025. The relationship started in 2024. All right, let me look this back up. You're right. I apologize. I do apologize. She last ran away in April of 2024 and last contacted her family in May of 2024. However, digital evidence revealed that she was alive in September of 2024. Correct. So you're correct on that. And in January of 2025. You're right. So if they knew she was alive, but are we sure they actually knew she was alive at that point? No, you're right, Heather. She was reported missing in 2024. You're right. And her body wasn't found until September. So that's a whole year and a half. That's right. Sorry, guys. My brain is just not focused. I had to go out. Like I said, I've been depressed lately and just not feeling good. And I do realize The neighbor's ring camera shows her at her house. Oh. Oh, so they never notified the cops that she had come home? Well, they're stating though that she was alive in January of 2025. They know that. Okay, so they didn't know. All right, well, they didn't know she had come home. Um, so what am I missing here? Give me a minute. Let me look something up here. All right. Let me look something up here. All right, they believe she was unalived in April of 2025. So she was with him that whole time from, well, she came home and they knew she was alive in January of 2025. All right, she last ran away in April of 2024. Last contacted her family in May of 2024. But there is evidence she was alive in September of 2024 and January of 2025. So what did she come by and they did know, they just didn't report it to the police. Okay, so when she came home in September of 2024, right? Did she stay home or was it just she ran in and grabbed some things and left again? Because they are stating that they knew she was alive in January of 2025. And that they did state. But was she staying at home or was she staying with him? It seemed like a party or celebration or something. All right. So then would she come home in September? In the video, she was arguing with the neighbors. Then she left again. Okay. So they left again. Well, if she left again, then how do we know they didn't, if they didn't actually see her, I guess the neighbors saw her. So what, she came home for the party that day and then left again? She would still be technically missing then, I would think. He was with the family and her family's house. He was with her at the but was the family home while they were there? That's my question. You know what I mean? Like I could go to my brother's house right now. Doesn't mean he's home. And then I could leave. No, sorry, she was there with her family. He wasn't there. Okay. All right. So the family, okay. So they did know she was home. All right. So, okay. So she left again after that party, correct? Now they have evidence that they know they did know she was alive in January of 2025. Um, I believe they knew she was alive in April of 2025. But they're okay, so let's go back to this. The coroner report is estimating that she was unalived in April of 2025. So we're gonna focus on April of 2025 until she was found September of 2025. Did they re-report her missing or no? I guess not, because everything's saying she was last reported missing in April of 2024. See, this is why I was eyeballing the parents. Like, where are the parents involved in this? Like, now here's the thing. What I haven't gotten to yet is what I've also been reading is they're looking into the motive. And part of the motive they believe is David was actually under investigation for I forget how they were, lewd and lascivious behavior with minors. And there's also video from Coachella when David was performing. The girl looks exactly like her. She was found in the same black. But that doesn't mean it was her. Right. That doesn't mean it was her, though. Let me tell you something. I look at a lot of these young girls, and a lot of them look the same. They're all young and pretty and, you know, something I'll never be again. um, but they're stating that he was actually already under investigation for lewd and lascivious acts with minors. So I know that why I said it looked exactly like her. Yeah, I know. I know, Heather. Um, so they're speculating that part of the motive was that she was a witness. And they do believe that she threatened to either turn him in or blackmail him or something. They have digital evidence. That's another part of what came out this week is they do have digital evidence of stuff. They're not releasing everything, but part of the motive they do believe. And remember when I asked, well, what would his financial gain be from unaliving her? And once again, I don't remember, Heather, if it was you or Twisted Tea or not, but one of you, once again, was hit the nail on the head. His financial gain was not getting caught. And you guys were right. So that's 2 points for the two of you. I'll make it even. But Twisted Tea definitely was with the motive of or the prediction of they must have had some smoking gun to arrest him that far afterwards. David said, delete that, delete it all. She made a comment and they laughed. But there's also, though, they said there's also like digital communications that they're not. They also found some not so nice underage pictures on David's electronic devices, which is probably why he was under investigation in the first place. Guys, give me a second here. There's something else. Okay, guys, give me a second here. I'm going to put you guys on mute for a minute. In a news report, her ex-boyfriend said she didn't get along with her parents. All right, we're talking about a 14-year-old who started communicating with this guy when she was 11 or 12. Now she's got an ex-boyfriend on top of it. Yeah, now I'm really side-eyeing the parents. Yeah, let me tell you something. If I walked in the house with two ex-boyfriends at 14 years old, my mom would be slapping me silly. I don't know. Did you guys just hear that? I can't believe she's only 14. She has yet another ex-boyfriend. That's ridiculous. Dude, where were her parents? Guys, I'm going to mute myself for a minute. I want to look at something. Okay, so I found the video. I'm going to have to listen to it later, though. It's taken a while to upload this damn laptop. See, my older laptop was faster, but it doesn't stream as well. Now, Heather, let me ask you a question. Have you been keeping up with that Sean Mickey Steins case? The sheriff that shot the judge? I actually wasn't keeping up with it until recently. They're saying she had been with another. There are reports, don't know how true, but they're saying she had been with another 20-year-old who had been unalived. Another 20-year-old that had been unalived? Maybe she was a witness in that. Maybe that's part of it too. Maybe that's why she got it. Maybe she dumped David for the other 20-year-old and oh, because I recently heard about this case about, well, they call him Mickey Steins, but his name is Sean Mickey Steins. He's the sheriff in Kentucky that unalived a judge. Oh, he was before David? Well, maybe David was jealous. Who knows? You never know. Maybe she dumped that guy, went with David, and David got jealous. Who knows? Like I said, you're talking about a 14-year-old that's now been with two 20-year-olds. Yeah, no. Something definitely wrong with that family. Definitely wrong with that family. But what I found interesting about this sheriff case is now there's a lot of girls coming out that have a lawsuit against the county's sheriff department, because apparently that sheriff was, and many of the deputies were getting favors, if you know what I mean, wink, wink, from women that were addicts, and they're calling themselves the perfect victims because, they were drug addicts, they were in trouble with the law, and they never were able to report these sheriffs because who would believe them? You read what about the sheriff? Yeah, apparently now there's some sort of lawsuit that came out or something, and it might have, and apparently the judge and the sheriff got into an argument. Now the sheriff recently wanted the new judge, or the judge that's taking over the case, wanted that judge kicked off the case because apparently that judge went to a conference with the unalived judge like a couple months before. Like, no, that's ridiculous. And wasn't even a conference about, it was a mental health, like how to deal with mental health in law enforcement conference. So that sheriff's lawyer's trying to pull everything. So yeah, that's where we're at with David. Apparently they have set an evidentiary hearing date. They are saying they could. Now, California has a moratorium allegedly on the death penalty, but they may go for the death penalty in this case. And the reason why they'll do that, even though there's a moratorium, is if the moratorium's ever lifted, they can pursue that punishment. But they haven't decided yet if they're going to put that as one of the potential punishments. But this guy David is bad news. Bad, 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 bad news. Nico, New Jersey, get out of here. Unless you have something to contribute constructively to the conversation, get out of here. Jesse, have you listened to David's music? Interesting talk about life imitating art. No, actually, I've never heard his music. I guess he's like indie. They describe him as indie. I don't know, like independent. Um, I don't care, Nico, New Jersey. Get out of here. Scram. I'm rude because I can be. It's my show. See ya. So, in other news this week, Daryl Sheets from Storage Wars unalived himself, And there's claim the songs are around 3 years old, but they describe almost what happened to her. Yeah, that's creepy, Heather. That's pretty creepy. Daryl Sheets unalived himself this week, and there are claims coming out that he was being internet bullied, which is very possible. I also read, and I know that over the years he's had problems with depression, which is something the song. When I first started this show, and I usually, not all the time, but I usually sign off with always try to be kind. Um, I mean, I have depression and anxiety issues, as I'm sure many people do. I've also fought through them, and I've learned if things aren't so great on the internet, I just, like I said, I haven't been feeling the best lately, so I don't come on as much. And I'll watch shows here or there, but I won't do a show unless I'm feeling up to it. Um, I've learned to um, cope, but some people can't. And this is just the internet we're dealing with here, guys. This is, amongst these communities, it's only like 400 people, maybe up to 1,000 if communities combine. Um, but I usually always try to sign off with try to be kind. And the reason why I say that is because you really don't know what kind of day somebody's having. And just because you see people on the internet or on TV, and guys, this is general terms. I'm not finger pointing at anybody in general. I'm just trying to be very general. Hi, Wyatt Earp. How are you, sweetheart? Um, just because you think you know somebody because they're on television or they're on YouTube or the internet does not always mean you know what's going on in people's personal lives. And I really do believe that you should always try to be kind. Now, of course, sometimes you have to snap back because some people are just ruthless and relentless. But for those of you that do suffer any type of mental illness, if you're feeling sad or you're feeling like you're bullied, I find it's easier for me to just shut the internet off and go watch a TV show. YouTube can be toxic at times, guys. YouTube can be incredibly toxic. And I've learned to, like, if I'm watching a show and they're talking about somebody I care about, bam, turn it off. Come back next show. Maybe they'll be talking about somebody else. Or something else. But always make sure you have somebody you can reach out to in your real life, that is. I'm lucky. I do have a lot of, I don't talk about my personal friends, or I might mention my family here or there, but I don't bring them into this world because they're not part of this world. So I have the luxury of, I can go to my best friend and be like, "Hey, I'm really down today. Let's have a laugh," or, you know, I'll pick up some coffee on the way to her house and we'll watch some stupid funny show. Or we used to get into Lifetime movies. Believe it or not. Lifetime movies kill depression. or true crime shows, or Dateline or shit like that. Like watch like real television shows, non-interactive shows. Um, it's funny. I heard Shameless is planning a reunion. I don't know if you guys are familiar, not the Lifetime movies. You know what, Heather? You know what kills me? It's always the redhead that's evil. And I'm like, and my best friend is blonde, right? She's got beautiful blonde hair. I've got beautiful long red hair. And we always watch the Lifetime movies, and I look at her and I kind of like growl at her, and she's like laughing her ass off. It's always the redheads that are evil on Lifetime. But I heard Shameless was making a comeback. And I thought, well, how's that going to work? Because I know Steve Howey's been working on another show that I like called High Potential. And it's about a woman. She's got like a high potential IQ that helps her consult with the police to solve crime. She's not a psychic, but she just, like, her brain sorts things out. Like in her life, she's a hot mess, but in her brain, she can figure things out. And Steve Howey, who um, was on Shameless, I thought, how's that going to work out? And then I saw um, the season finale, and they left Steve Howey in High Potential hanging. Like, he's not dead, but he got stabbed a lot. Let's put it that. So he's hanging in limbo. You once had red hair, Wyatt? What happened? What happened to your red hair? Did it turn yellow? It's always the redheads that are evil. um, so I thought, oh, well, I guess that's how that's going to work out. So they kind of left it like a cliffhanger. So he's not dead on the show, but he's not exactly capable of acting as a police chief. Or not chief, captain. All my hair fell out. All your hair fell out? Well, why'd you pull it all out, Wyatt? Why'd your hair fall out, Wyatt? What'd you do? Huh? So, but anyway, back to what I was saying. I found myself getting back into actual movies and television shows that aren't interactive, where I can kind of just zone out. I've been watching a lot of old 80s sitcoms too. Um, stuff I grew up on, stuff we all grew up on. Um, like I was saying earlier in the show, I've been depressed and not feeling well. I realized, I haven't had ginger in a couple weeks. So I went out and I bought more candied ginger, and I eat a couple bites of that every day. And I just picked it up today. All my kids stressed me out and all my hair fell out. um, so I went out today and I picked up some candied ginger, and hopefully I can get back on track. There's something, well, also the ginger helps with my fibro pain and helps with inflammation and all that. So it helps with the fibro and arthritis. And usually when those are flaring up is when I get depressed. So hopefully if I can like throw that at bay, Keep that at bay. I can snap back into my happy old self. I don't know. What are some of the tricks you guys do to make yourself feel better? And you know what is good to watch too, guys? Um, Angel's interviews. She's been doing some great interviews, guys. So if you make sure you watch her interviews, I watch True Crime and Food Network. What about you, Wyatt? What about you, Twisted Tea? What kind of TV shows do you watch? See, I don't like I don't watch the Food Network because I like it. I always end up hungry. I'm like, no, I don't need to eat right now. And then when I do eat, I'm usually watching a true crime show, and then I'm like, oh, I decide to eat right now, right? Of all times. You know what guys, do you Joe Kenda. I want to start watching his show. Yeah, I go outside and work to relieve my stress. Yeah, I do that at work. Like I go outside and I walk around the properties and stuff like that. That helps. But if I'm like in pain from fibro and arthritis, it's hard to do that. So that's where the ginger comes into play. Take a couple bites of that every day and get the pet back in my step. Oh, I do. I love Joe Kenda too. Um, Now he's got what was it? He's got a 93% solved rate. You know what? They need to get him on the Nancy Guthrie case. I wonder if he would come out of retirement for that. Well, he worked out in Colorado. I believe he's living in the Carolinas now, but he's originally from Pennsylvania. Um, I think he was born in Pennsylvania and grew up in Ohio or something like that, and then uh, went to work out in Colorado. Um, but I believe he retired to the Carolinas. Um, but I wonder if he would come out of retirement to help find Nancy Guthrie. Wouldn't that be a hoot? If anybody can find her, it would be him. um, I was actually watching a documentary the other day. Hold on one second. I don't know if you guys are you familiar with the Rhonda Smith murder? That was the lady that was unalived in the church office in Bucks County, PA. That actually happened about, well, it happened in 2008, but it happened about, I want to say about 7 or 8 miles away from where I grew up. And those little small towns, it's funny because there's a bunch of small little towns, but in between are like farms. So, when you hear like 7 or 8 miles away, um, yeah, it seems like far away. Like, oh, okay, that's not real close. That's like 7 or 8 miles away. I'm getting to remodel my front bathroom to get out some stress. Oh, okay. Um, a lot of these people in these small communities within a 10-15 mile radius all know each other. So it was really eerie to watch that documentary again. I remember when it happened. Um, but if you get a chance, look it up. It was the Rhonda Smith murder. Um, now, the woman who was convicted went to jail for it, but I don't know. I have a funny feeling could have been her brother that unalived the other girl. Jesse, my cousin, was the lead detective on that case. Oh, the one in Springfield, Marcy? See how close? See how close these communities are, Marcy? Am I wrong? Marcy girl, am I wrong? In my upper Bucks, it's all small towns and farms. But everybody knows everybody, even like 15, 10, 15, 20 miles away. Everybody knows everybody, or everybody knows somebody. Right? I don't know. I kind of think the lady's brother might have had something because it was his car. Well, he turned the bullets in. He found the bullet, not the bullets, the casings in his car. Um, but there was something weird with the brother and sister. Now, the father went missing too. The father went missing too. And there was just something weird about that brother and sister. Like, I don't know. My cousin said that lady was arrested and she was a loon. She was loony. She was. But there was something weird going on with the brother too. I truly believe that. But ironically, here's the funny thing, Marzi. From what I've read afterwards and seen in documentaries, apparently when she went to jail, she fit right in. She's happy as a clam in jail. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Your cousin's probably right. She probably did do it. She was convicted of it. Um, but there was definitely something weird with that family because I guess she was the caretaker for the mother, and then the mother passed away, and then it was her father, her, and her brother all lived together. But the brother, there was something weird between the brother and sister. Don't you think? I don't know. See, look. Marcy girl knows. You could live 10 miles away from an area, but you still know people who know people. Oh, man. That's crazy, Marcy. Um, I don't know. Maybe they were in on it together. I don't know. Like she was loony though. And now the thing with the gun was when she was first questioned on it, she said she got rid of it years ago. She threw it in the lake. And then not too long after this murder, they found the gun, but it hadn't been in the lake. Lake Nockamixon, that's another story altogether. My cousin's um yeah, between the Delaware River and Lake Nockamixon, we got some stories in Upper Bucks, don't we, Marcy girl? um but yeah, like I don't know. I believe she did it just by the whole gun story. you know that case in New York in March where two men threw those LED, IEDs at police during protest? Um, oh gosh, Marcy, there's so much crime. I don't know if I remember specifically. But what about it? Yeah, we know people in New York too. That's how we're 2 hours away from New York, but we still know people there. What about that case? One of them lived down the street from me, and the other one lived in Newtown. No kidding. No kidding. Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, see, that's the thing with freaking Bucks and Montgomery counties are they're so close to Philly, but they're so close to New York too. Like that there's very few people in Bucks and Montgomery County originated from the area anymore. Like I mean, yeah, I'm originally from Bucks County, but my mom's from the West Coast and my dad's from Long Island. Well, my real father's from Philly, but my stepdad's from Long Island, New York. So those suburbs in between New York and Philadelphia, guys, it's such a quick commute to either city, New York or Philadelphia. Yeah, we had FBI everywhere down here. Yeah, see, yeah, I know people in Newtown as well. It's one big well, it's actually from Boston down to DC is a huge beeline. Um, God, you have Boston, New York. If you go to the west a little bit, you have Allentown. Then you have Philly. Then you have Baltimore, and then you have DC. Like all those cities are like you can get from one end of that beeline to the other in 5 hours on a good day. On a good day. Um, well, I remember Marcy girl after 9/11, they were looking at apartments in Sellersville and Harleysville. And I worked in Harleysville at the time. And they had people all over, they had FBI all over like Central Box and Harleysville. And then apparently a couple weeks later, they had the FBI up at once again Lake Nockamixon because apparently some of the water tank, like from the state, because it's a state park, but some of the water tanks up there had been the lids had been tampered with as well. And what about the Cosmo guy? That oh my God, Marcy girl, my aunt used to live on Aquatong Road growing up. Um, Now my aunt passed away. Oh gosh, I think a couple years before that. But my aunt lived right on Aquatong Road. She lived right on that road. I got out of New York City 65 years ago and never looked back. Wyatt Earp, I don't believe you ever were from New York City. Oh, really? Yeah, let me tell you something. When that story hit, and I believe the one kid was from shoot. If you go down 413, I can't think. I used to go through there all the time. Um Down after Ottsville, down after but right before Doylestown, um Buckingham. Was it Buckingham? Anyone want to move in around Jesse? The uncle and cousins lived around there. Or your uncle, yeah. Yeah, right. Well, they all come to Pennsylvania to hide out. If it's not in the Poconos, Marzi girl, it's somewhere in the Philly suburbs that all the weirdos hang out, right? Hello, Edwin. Now it's funny because my stepdad, I told you, grew up in Long Island, but his family moved to Pennsylvania when he was a senior in high school. And so he graduated in Pennsylvania, but he grew up in Long Island. We still have family up there. Um, my real father grew up outside of Philadelphia, outside on the main line out of Philly. Um, and my mom grew up from the West Coast. So, like a lot of people in like Bucks and Montgomery counties are either Philly or New York transplants. And a lot of times both, and they crisscross. So I have very sad news. My sweet. Oh, I'm sorry, Marzi girl. Yeah, I lost my Gemma a couple years ago. I used to have an Alexandrine parakeet, and don't now. Here's the thing with parrots. Parrots are technically parakeets, but not all parakeets are parrots, if that makes sense. The Alexandrines are considered a parakeet because they're about an inch short of being considered a parrot. But she had the 2 foot tail and oh man, she was beautiful. I'm so sorry, Marzi girl. How old was she? Do you know? Edwin, blessings, my dear. Yeah, I miss, especially now that my son's grown up and whatnot, I miss my bird. There's no noise in the house. When my daughter got her, the vet said she might last 10 more years. She made it 4. Her beginnings were horrible. Mine, Gemma, now Gemma I had her since she was a baby. Like, as soon, like, they held on to her until she was old enough for me to bring home. Um, her breed of bird, 8 to 10 years, possibly 15. And I spoiled Gemma. Oh man, I spoiled that bird. Um, and she passed away. She was 7 years old. But here's the thing, Marzi girl, do you remember 2 years ago when all that smoke was coming down from Canada? Oh, our senior citizen. Yeah, I believe it. Do you remember when all that smoke was coming down from Canada? I have a feeling that, when I open the door, because I open the door downstairs and goes right up the steps. And guys, if you're from the area I'm in, 2 years ago when all those Canada wildfires were going, and there was smoke, like the skies were orange in New York, and there was like layers of smoke. That was right when she passed away. Idris is sitting next to me enjoying some chicken and cranberry sauce. Um, I think the smoke got because they don't like that. Like smoke, like I never like yeah, I smoke cigarettes, but I don't smoke in my apartment, and I definitely never smoked around my bird. I didn't allow it. Um, but I think what happened was that smoke was so bad. I think it got to her because she was otherwise healthy. Um, yeah, my son used to think he was like, "Mom, you are evil," because birds will eat chicken off the bone, and it used to freak my son out. I'd be like, "Hey, watch this!" I'd throw a chicken wing, cooked, of course, a chicken wing in her cage. Um, I would feed her like fresh vegetables. Um, she wasn't too keen on broccoli, but I would throw the broccoli in first, make her eat that before I gave her the carrots. Oh yeah, see no, I would no. Birds are too like I mean, I remember when we were kids, we had cats and dogs and my parents smoked around them, but birds are they have such tiny little systems. They can't they can't take dust. They can't take smoke. They can't Yeah, well, I threw a chicken wing in the cage the one time, and my son freaked out. He's like, "Mom, that's cannibal. How can you do that?" I said, "Keep it up." I said, "I'll fry up an egg, and you can watch her eat the eggs, just so she knows what I can do." My son freaked out. He's like, "Mom, you're horrible." um, but I used to feed her like berries and nuts and stuff like that. Um, Chicken, yeah. Gemma loved chicken and eggs. I would give her peanut butter and jelly, but it had to be creamy peanut butter. Um, Ham and cheese sandwiches, but I would leave mustard off of her part of it because I would rip it in half and I would give her half a sandwich. But I never gave it. See, you can't even get if you give them mustard or anything like that. Like you can't give them spicy foods even. Like that's how tiny like birds are, and people don't understand that. And that's why I never smoked around Gemma. Never. Well, anyway, guys, I've been on for an hour and 3 minutes. Um, thank you to everybody that stopped in, said hello, everybody that took part in the conversation. Um, try to be kind. I love you all, and I will see you guys all in the next chat room. Bye, guys.